providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
I'm getting my Mary two-step on. I can't tell yet if this is the original or the sample, so...
This sounds like the original.
It does sound like the original, but, I'm always going to go Mary. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. We are here with my guest for this evening in Hour 3, Trent the artist. And Trent was just about to enlighten us about whether or not it is okay to be fake sometimes. I'll give you my answer first, if that helps.
That does help, because I don't even know if it's calling it fake.
Well, I think that there are definitely occasions where you have to bring it up. You have to, put a little sparkle on things just because, one, it might make it easier for you to get through the moment, the day, the situation. Or B, it can be fun.
I call that adapting. I don't really call that being fake.
I guess it depends on who you ask, because if you are cordial to someone, let's say you speak to someone and you don't necessarily love them, but you're speaking, and say, hey, how's your day? Somebody might say that you're being fake. But like you said, it could just be adapting.
Now, see, that's a bad example, because
Why?
If I don't like you, I'm not talking to you.
Are you not? You're not even greetings?
Not even greetings. You
Why?
don't exist.
Why?
Because I'm not being fake. That's why. Because I don't like you, and I'm not about to sit up here and pretend like I do. So let's just cut it.
But does it matter that much in the grand scheme of things?
It does.
I'm not talking about someone that you have real beef with.
Because I don't want you to think
a mortal
I like
enemy.
It'd be talking all the time.
A greeting?
No, because see, that's how stuff gets started. It all starts with a hello, and then it progresses. Don't say nothing.
Okay, not even a quick way.
Mm-mm.
Hey.
Keep walking.
The one finger?
CC Peniston.
Not even
Keep
a church
on walking,
finger?
I ain't talking.
You're not throwing up a church finger?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, I clearly believe in social graces, and I think that sometimes it's
I do.
okay.
It's
I don't
appropriate
think
in
it's
some
always necessary to be, mean and nasty. You don't always have to be
I'm
that.
not mean or nasty.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying
Sometimes I
in
am,
general, though. Listen. Okay, so we are back in our topics. We are in the last hour of the inaugural episode.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Really quick, since we're talking about that, I want to speak on how important this frequency, the 1580, means to me. As I stated earlier, I am born and raised in Los Angeles. 1580, when it was K-Day back in the day, was one of the stations that shaped me as an individual, as a person. There was a DJ on there named Lisa Canning. She came on eventually afternoons, but I think she came on the night shift, and she had a bomb voice. I loved her. She eventually went on to be an actress a little bit, and then I don't know what happened to her.
The 80s.
But
Great time.
Absolutely, set up so it's kind of a full circle moment, manifestation, because I definitely, as Trent always likes to say, at one point in time must have had a hairbrush in my hand in the mirror.
Yes.
Practicing radio
in the
drops.
mirror long enough.
So So here I am, and I really appreciate it. I'm excited. I hope you guys are enjoying the first episode. We have so much more for you over the coming days, weeks, and months. So we want you to make sure you stay locked in. If you haven't already, stop, take a moment, follow us on our socials, right? Because that's important. Trent, we haven't said what your socials are. Why don't you run those down for us?
Yes, at Trent the Artist on all platforms. Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. At Trent the Artist.
And tell them where they can find your podcast if they want to check it out and take a listen.
Yeah, TrentTheArtist.com. You can check it out there, and it's available exclusively on Spotify.
Thank you so much. So while you are doing that, following all of our socials at KBLA, because that's important. How else are you going to keep in touch? This is how. You got to be tapped in. You also should follow me at Stiletto Jill everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Check me out. We're going to be fast friends, and we have a lot to talk about. So let's circle back. I have what is going to be not the final topic of the night, but the final topical topic of the night. And then we'll go to, some headlines and fun stuff. So over the weekend, a woman tweeted her flight experience out. I believe she was in a window seat. There's a passenger in a middle seat and another one on the aisle seat. The passenger that was in the middle seat had an emotional support animal. The woman said that when she got to her seat, the animal, which was a dog, a 50-pound dog, mind you, 50-pound, I think it might have been not sure.
That's a person.
That's a person, right, was sitting in her seat. And she was like, oh, I thought maybe you would want to move or change seats and, my dog could sit here, or you could let me sit here with my dog, because 50-pound dog, emotional support animal, that means that it's not in a carrier, and that means that the entire flight, and this was a flight from coast to coast, so 5 or 6 hour flight, right? The dog was on the woman's lap. She said at one point the dog started getting restless and was trying to stretch its legs, I should say, stretch its legs, and was walking back and forth over the person that was on the aisle and her, and they ended up with pet hair over themselves and everything. So I want to know, for you, what would you do in that situation, and do you believe in emotional support animals?
Can I say something before we go into all that, before I answer your question? This has caucasity written all over it.
Absolutely.
And it's a no. It definitely not. They don't clean the airplanes that, great enough in between flights for your dog, who is a small baby, to be sitting unaccompanied in a chair. Where's the carrier? It's moving me to somewhere else.
What if there was no other seats available?
No, it's give me a flight credit, put me on the next flight, because I'm not about to sit next to this animal. I didn't sign up for that. I left my dog at home.
Your bags already loaded up and under the plane.
Listen,
they can go without you.
I don't check bags. It's not that serious.
You don't check bags.
Never.
You're a carry-on all.
Absolutely.
I have a few friends like that. I don't understand.
You know why?
How you function.
The last time I traveled, and my large suitcase got lost, and there were some very important things in there, and never again. So I tried to condense everything to a carry-on and a backpack.
Well, that makes sense. Well, when we come forward, here's a new trip that you're going to go on. You're going to come forward with us on the other side. We are going to be getting into more conversation with Trent the Artist, more trending topics. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know that all City of LA renters have rights? Check out these 3 facts. Residential tenants can't be evicted without reason or just cause. Eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt due before March 31st, 2023. And you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice. 5 days. Many Angelenos may be at risk of losing their home, and that's why we want you to know your rights. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Men, you fought hard for the role that you play in your children's lives. This Father's Day, Cordell & Cordell celebrates you the entire month of June. Join us every Friday for our live webinar series, Father's Fridays. There you'll receive much useful information from our panel of speakers. To register, go to cordellcordell.com/Father's Day.
1455 Frazee Road, Suite 1050, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon for conversations that matter. Every day, I talk to influencers, content creators, trendsetters, change makers, and world beaters who are doing their part to make America a nation that will one day be as good as its promise. So be sure to join me, Tavis Smiley, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon as we curate smart conversations for smart people just like you.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Hey. Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's Jill Munroe. You are checking out RSVP, the newest show here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you for the warm response and welcome. You guys have been lighting up the chat. It's been quite entertaining. I look forward to hearing more from you over the days and weeks here. We also have a guest in studio, Trent the artist, author, podcaster, your Keep It Real friend, who is going to give you the undisputed truth no matter what.
Absolutely.
Not holding anything back. And speaking of, we mentioned this name earlier, Shannon Sharpe. We talked about him parting ways with Skip Bayless after some things that went on. So I mentioned at the time that we weren't really sure where Shannon might end up, but it looks like there are some rumors as to where we could see Shannon Sharpe next.
That quick, huh?
That quick, because I have sources and, things happen. No, seriously. So Shannon is obviously a highly in-demand media personality, Hall of Famer, won, did he win a ring with the Ravens? I know he won it with the Broncos. I can't remember if he won a ring with the Ravens. Andy, okay, he did. So I just wanted to make sure I'm getting my information correct because, things of that nature. So Shannon's voice is something he's developed, this persona, I should say, not character. Persona has come out over the past couple of years. So, there's only a limited number of places as far as television where you will see sports talent end up. He was at CBS many, many years ago on their football coverage on Sundays. And then that went away for a time period. And then we've seen him on the last 7 years on Fox 11. FS1. Fox 11 is the LA local station. Yes. So that's where that came in from. But Shannon is reportedly going to be taking the spot of another football player who this company lost to ESPN. So it's an area that is coming up big in the world of sports. There's a lot of money being pumped into this, and it is not the traditional network that you would think of. You want to take a guess?
No, I don't.
You absolutely don't. You're like, sports isn't even in my thing.
No, I can go there with you, but I don't want to take no chances on this.
Okay, so it's looking like Shannon Sharpe is going to end up with one of the popular sports bettors, FanDuel. So if you've been paying attention, as far as betting and the regulations, it's becoming more open in more states. I think New Jersey is one of the most recent ones to pass some laws for that. You know, we have some things here where there was questions about what happens online with those betting situations. So you were seeing more and more talent get involved with these companies and sort of included in their breakdown of the topics and the highlights related to sports is a betting component where they'll give you the odds and things of that nature. So that means that they have big money to spend, and Shannon needs a big money deal. And we're looking at Vegas. Vegas is setting itself up to be the sports capital of the United States. Already, obviously, the casinos are there as more sports teams are coming in. We have the champion Las Vegas Aces. We have the hockey team there, the Golden Knights, the Raiders. You know, good luck, Raiders fans. Maybe one day you'll see the upper echelon of the sports layers again. Probably not, you know, we have to see. But and soon there will probably likely be an NBA and an MLB team there. We know that the Oakland A's had negotiated to open up a stadium on the Strip, but there's been some things that have come up with that, so I'm not sure where we are in progress with that. But just teasing the shows coming up ahead, we will have a former executive from the Oakland A's on in the upcoming weeks where we will get into that story. But that's for later. For now, I want to know from you, what do you think about gambling taking a spot center stage as far as it's always been around sports? Obviously, it's a big component of it. But what do you think about the major athletes stepping in front and sort of pushing that out there, especially with the accessibility of apps, with it being easier for kids to get on apps and all of those good things? Are you for or against gambling with your phone?
I mean, it's no different from, well, two parts. It's no different from athletes getting endorsement deals with like Nike or Wheaties. It's just the new medium for it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think so? Because
Absolutely.
when you buy sneakers, you buy them once and that's it. You're not going to, in theory, lose anything once you buy that. You are gaining something. Gambling's not that.
Sometimes it is.
I mean, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's
big money.
It's a big win.
Yeah.
So in order to keep that momentum going, they need a big name to draw in more money so they can not only pay these people, but to get a profit too. So it's just like any other celebrity endorsing any other product. It's just another product. And we now live in a digital, world where everything is on a phone or a screen. So it's get used to it.
Get used to it. We're going to be tapped in, locked in.
And not like Sweetie either.
So shout out in the chat. I see T. Swarns in the chat. T. Swarns is someone that I've known for a very long time. I appreciate you supporting me, checking into the show. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to come check us out here weeknights, Monday through Friday. I guess that is weeknights, 9 to 12. But just to reiterate it, to dial the point home that this is where it is. So make sure you check in. So, my Keep It Real friend.
What's up?
We've talked about gold diggers.
We love gold diggers.
We've talked about court files.
We love court files.
We've talked a little bit about, I mean, that's going to be a regular occurrence
Yeah.
because there's so much legal drama that happens. We have to dip into that and, talk about it a little bit. So bringing up the rear, what we're going to talk about is Zion Williamson as well as Ja Morant. Now, these two both coincidentally from North Carolina, both played on the same AAU team when they were younger. They've been in the news lately. We know that Ja's been suspended for 25 games for brandishing a gun, what he says is a toy gun, on his friend's Instagram Live. And we know the commissioner came out, Adam Silver, with a very strong statement because he felt that he had given Ja a break before. So now we are hearing rumors coming out of Ja Morant's camp that they believe that the NBA and the media is out to get him and that they are making a bigger deal out of all of these situations than what they really are. So I want to know from you, what are your thoughts on that? Do you really believe that the NBA is secretly trying to take down one of their budding young stars?
No. I do not. That is the line of a spin doctor. Okay, that's what we're watching the story be spun and spun and spun till all the water comes out and the clothes are dry, ready to go into the dryer. That's what we're looking at here. It is foolish to make that much. What is it? $7 million a game
for his 25-game suspension, something like that.
$7 million a game. Do the math. That's a lot of money to be playing with over a toy gun. Just you're reckless, you're irresponsible, and the people around you are enabling you to fail. That's what we're looking at.
It is because
you know what? Where is his black mother at? That's my question.
His black mother is right there with him.
Because I couldn't at this age, I couldn't get away with anything foolish in public without my black mother calling my phone asking me, "What the F are you doing?"
Well, his black mother
come
called
home right
his
now.
phone to come and handle business when the security guard was getting a little rough with her or a little inappropriate, so she says, at a mall. So, there's a lot of money involved. His parents, they seem to be really enamored in the lifestyle that has come along with it.
Tragic.
Not saying that they should not, enjoy the fruits of their son's labor and have a good time and have fun. But it does seem like there is a lack of role models as far as how you should be conducting yourself publicly happening with Ja right now. Because the thing is this, even if it was a toy gun, right? 2 months ago, you got in trouble for being in the strip club on camera and doing all of these things. Do we not understand, like
Reckless.
you said, personal accountability? The NBA is a private entity, so they're allowed to set their own rules. And I think that we've seen several situations before where players were given more of a pass per se, but I think that is because, one, they weren't reprimanded right before that. And then we've also seen people lose their careers for far less, just get cast to the side, cut, chopped out of the way for doing things like that. I do wonder, I understand why they're trying to put the spin out there, but I wonder if they really, really looked at it. Do they think he has no accountability in this? Do they think that the way that it's presented is such that it doesn't make him look that bad?
Well, here's the thing.
Even if it's not that serious.
Well, you did something, and that's why we're in the situation. There's some level of truth to the situation at hand. Just be responsible. Let's just for a second, let's just play devil's advocate and let's just say that the NBA is trying to railroad him and sideline him, which we know that they're not. Because why would you invest all this money and spend all this money just to railroad? It doesn't make sense.
He's one of the most exciting players right now. Memphis Grizzlies games were must-see TV. They were really on their way ascending. We saw what happened in the playoffs. And now we're kind of here. Same thing, different avenue, but same sort of thing with Zion Williamson. We see that the announcement of his pregnant girlfriend set off his side pace. We have an update to Mariah Mills and her constant badgering of Zion on Twitter. Mariah's Twitter account was suspended today. What we believe to be the final straw that broke the camel's back and caused Twitter to say, hey, we're going to slow you down, is that she was threatening to release a sex tape of she and Zion. And we know, revenge porn, especially in California. I don't think that she's in California. I believe she's in Texas. But, Zion might be here right now. And that is a crime. And it is punishable. And it probably was like, enough is enough. I really think that Mariah was trying to get her coins up for the next guy, and I know that might seem counterproductive.
Another gold digger.
With all the with all the talking that she was doing, but she was giving a lot of information. It seemed like it might have been advertising to a degree, because she was including priceless.
I took a gander at that Twitter and just walked away because it's a disaster, and and as a society, I think that we've come to a point where we like meltdowns and drama on Twitter. It's entertaining for a moment, but sometimes it goes a little bit too far. This was way excessive. It's too far, and I think that some of these young, rich athletes need to be a little bit more discerning about who they're dating and who they're keeping themselves around, to avoid situations like this.
Absolutely, but think about yourself at 19, 20 years old, pocket full of money. Big money, far surpass, and pretty much anybody you see, like you could look at Instagram like a menu. I want that one, maybe that one next week, maybe that one tomorrow. And there's going to be a moment, at least a moment, where you might wild out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so my thing with Zion is not so much, hey, you want to take a ride on that roller coaster? Sure, why not? It's not my thing. I hope you were protecting yourself, but it's not that. It's that you didn't have control of the situation. I mean, how could you expect to at 22? But as soon as she started popping, you didn't set it up. You didn't get it ready to go when you knew that you were going to be making this announcement with chick 1A. You should have had chick 1B tucked and in the cut, especially if you wanted to hold on to her, which it looks like he did, at least for a certain amount of time being. But now she's cut out. But I do think that that is a little bit of advertising to the next curiosity seeker because, you know, somebody's always going to be curious.
Yes, they are.
And even though that happened to Zion, they're like, you know, I'm better than that. It's not going to happen to me. I got it under control.
Fail.
I have the remedy for that situation.
Wrong idea and the wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
It will catch you every time.
Okay, but
at some point or another.
I mean, it goes back to something we mentioned earlier about being a daredevil. That's all. Just, you know, what would you do for an adventure? What would you do for a lot of fun?
Well, at a certain point, it comes to an end. Curiosity will kill the cat.
It will, or you just get burnt out. You just get tired. You use it up. But you know, with Zion, I just think he wasn't prepared. He had a lot of free time. He's not a rookie. He's a young player, but I can't even say like he shouldn't know any better because he's been in the league for quite a bit of time, relatively speaking, at this moment. So I hope that's the end of that with Miss Mariah Mills.
It's not. She can't stop talking.
She might, though, if she has, you know, succeeded in her mission to find a replacement.
She's still not going to. She's going to tell everybody she's got a replacement. It's going to be a never-ending cycle.
Maybe not, though, because she was quiet up until this happened, so she might have knew the role. Not so much? You don't think so?
No. She likes the attention that she got at this point. She's going to take it up a notch. Because, you know, once you get a taste of that attention and that fame, you're going to start doing stuff to keep it up.
I mean, she already had attention, though. You know.
She wants more. It's not enough.
Okay. You know, she had a career that she left behind, she said 4 years ago.
And she wants it back.
The career or the attention?
Both.
I don't know if she wants the career back. I think she's tired of that one. She alluded to it. It's very different.
She's tired of this guy she's dating, too, but she wants that back.
Man, listen. We will see. Well, Trent the artist, the Keep It Real friend, you have been doing that all night, and we appreciate you. When we come forward, we're going to get on our last topic of the evening and get us all set up to come back and do it again tomorrow. But in the meantime, Trent.
What's up?
We got about 20 seconds, right?
Okay.
What's been your favorite topic of the night?
My favorite topic of the night so far. These mystery, these rich elite on this sinking submarine. That has been the most humorous to me, as well as like, you know, kind of heartwarming and touching. You know, let's hope they come back.
We have to keep our prayers up for those individuals.
I want their survival story.
Once they survive, then we can have all the jokes in the world.
No, I want to know what they did for the bathroom.
We're going to hit our last topic of the night. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
I'm very proud of my son.
That's all President Biden said in response to shouted questions from reporters ahead of a meeting on artificial intelligence in San Francisco. The comment comes as Hunter Biden has struck a deal with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors and to resolve a felony gun charge. As part of the agreement, the Justice Department has agreed to recommend a sentence of probation. Meantime, the New York Times reports industry leaders warned OceanGate about potential issues with its Titanic expeditions. The newspaper obtained a letter from 2018 that warned OceanGate its experimental approach with its vessel could lead to catastrophic outcomes. One of the company's submersibles has been missing since Sunday, with 5 people on board. And the people who guaranteed Congressman George Santos' $500,000 bond in his criminal fraud case will have their identities revealed. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
If you're a late-night snacker, listen up. Buffalo Wild Wings created a menu of late-night food and drinks starting at $4, 10 till close, full of tasty apps and ice-cold beer to wash it all down. Limited time at participating locations. Offers, days, and times may vary. Drink responsibly. Void or prohibited. Tax and fees extra.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that's between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022.
This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate.
Eligibility criteria apply and funding is limited. For more information, visit COVIDPaidSick.com. If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022.
This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate.
For more information, visit COVIDPaidSick.com.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yup, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile, Crest has you covered.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice and injustice, the courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Ariva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Ariva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, another summertime bop. Andy has us in there going in. And I think that this is Bernard Wright, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Who Do You Love? I remember this video was actually extremely revolutionary when it came out. In the video, he was tumbling with the young lady, you know, all through the streets, and they were so in love and in bliss that the world was just spinning around them. It was very creative. So if you guys are on YouTube, after we are done with tonight, go look that up. Bernard Wright, Who Do You Love? That was a nice little
That was a good one.
Way to bring us back in, Andy.
All right, Andy.
You know, we are coming down to the last 30 minutes of the first episode of RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I hope you guys have been having as great a time as I have. We've been talking with my Keep It Real friend here, Mr. Trent the Artist Jackson. So, Trent.
Yes.
You know, you're not going to be fake.
No.
Not even to be cordial.
Not even to be cordial. That's probably my problem right now because I'm a little,
You should try and be a little, a little sugar with your vinegar.
Sometimes,
Can you take you a
sometimes
little
it's a lot of
further?
sugar. Sometimes it's too much sugar.
Okay, I am just saying that.
Depending on who you ask, see.
Okay.
I'm a very nice person, though, but sometimes
fair,
I just don't have time for the foolishness.
I mean, I can understand that.
Because these people that shenan once, they will shenan again.
And they will shenan and shenan and shenan.
They will keep doing it.
I mean, that's part of life, right? We like a little shenan every now and again. Keeps things exciting.
I don't like being exhausted. I'm already aging.
I
and,
said a little.
Yeah.
You know,
too much is too much.
Drink your water, hydrate, and moisturize.
Yep.
That'll help with that aging thing. So anyway, back on point. What? Isn't that always our advice?
Fillers, too.
Okay.
We live in L.A.
We do live in L.A., and we will definitely have a talk about plastic surgery at some point on this show because I think it's an important one. And, contrary to popular belief, I don't think all plastic surgery or the little touch-ups are bad. I think
definitely
that
not at all.
It is frequency, quality, and those type of things, but we can talk about that at another time. And no, I don't have any. That just means that I am not opposed to it, and I would like it as an option for me should I need it in the future. Like you said, never say never, although there are some things that we say never about. But that's something that maybe, depending upon what we're talking about, can stay on the table.
Yes.
All right. So back to our fire topics for the evening. So we've touched on relationships, the ties that bind, how that could, maybe come together for a better working relationship. If we're talking about LeBron and Chris Paul and Draymond Green, we don't really want any of those things to happen, but we understand the feelings that are around that, about wanting to be around your friends and fellowship and go through that. We talked a little bit about Juneteenth and some of the festivities, right? I want to know from you, because you like music, you're a music guy.
Yes.
What is the key to a fire Juneteenth playlist?
Wipe Me Down.
Wipe Me Down.
Yeah.
You must have saw the video of the girl. Did you see it?
I didn't.
There was, at the Juneteenth situation that was out here in Leimert Park during the show, I guess the DJ was playing Wipe Me Down. And somehow,
That's how you get the party started. Wipe Me Down.
Absolutely. And some of the guests climbed on top of
the
a Pizza Hut.
I saw that picture.
And so they were going in to Wipe Me Down. They had their little
That makes sense.
Wipe Me Down happening.
Music Sermon, they're doing their poll on Instagram, the blackest, 18 days of music or whatever.
Shout out to Naima Cochran.
Yesterday was the blackest song that you know. And I saw these answers and people were putting, Fight the Power, Public. It's a good one. But Wipe Me Down was my anthem because that's how you get it started. And so many people agreed.
I mean, a pull up on E. What is
gas
it?
Tank on E. All drinks on me. So
Wipe
black.
Me Down. Yeah.
So black.
Yeah. No gas, but I'm gonna get to the party.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna look fly when I'm stepping out of my empty car.
Okay. Yeah. All right then. So Wipe You Down. What else? Because that's only one song.
Let's see.
Because keeping it 100, mine is basically going to be what I would like to have at a barbecue with a couple of strong black anthems thrown in
Yes.
to the mix. But, it's mostly just cookout.
We got to have
music.
some Frankie Beverly in there too.
Okay. You haven't replaced Beyonce's version with Frankie's version of Before I Let Go. I know there's other Frankie Beverly songs that you can play.
No,
but
that is the one, and I haven't replaced it. I won't replace it.
you won't, never, not ever.
Depending on the crowd. If we're with the sugary crowd, then sure. But if we're with the regular constituency, the black crowd, we're going to play the original. Yeah.
Okay. Do you line dance? You electric slide?
I will. I absolutely
wobble,
will.
whatever.
I'll do all
of
of
those
them.
things in.
I have to have like about 3 or 4 Hennessy's in me before I start dancing, though.
I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, which might be shocking. Like, I hit a little electric slide back in my day. I may hit a little cha-cha, but I'm not for line dances.
I am a dancer. Surprisingly
I'm a
enough.
dancer,
Yeah.
but I'm not for line dancing. I
I'll
don't
do
know
all
why.
the dances.
I don't know. It feels, I don't know. But in saying that, one thing that I think, and no one asked, but I'm just including this in, one thing that I think that makes Black culture special and what we always include is that there is always some movement, there is always some dancing at one of our events. And I think it's just the joy of movement. We express ourselves in a different way, but I'm not happy if there's not a little shaking going on.
It's in our DNA.
In the, atmosphere.
Yeah, it's in our DNA with the drums and the movement. We got to dance. We got to move.
T. Sworn says Arrested Development, Everyday People, Frankie Beverly, Happy Feelings. That is a great
Both
one.
of those are good ones.
Really good. So, listen, adult playlist, right? What other sort of traditions should we be introducing to this holiday?
It's a new holiday, 3 years in, and we're still figuring out how we're going to do it. But I think the most important thing that that I've been seeing thus far, even with yesterday, is the fact that we can come together and be unified and have a good time. And it was really good to see that when COVID first happened, when we first started celebrating Juneteenth. So I think if we just carry that spirit of unification and supporting each other, that is going to be the spirit that carries it and keeps it going.
But not they were out there at the Juneteenth celebration, ending it like Issa's block party on Insecure.
It's very much Nuck If You Buck situation. And, things happen. Stuff happens. And somebody said earlier in the chat, at least it didn't get, more crazy than what it did.
Facts.
No one got shot there. Everybody survived. And, stuff happens.
I mean, I'm making light of it. I mean, stuff does happen. Obviously, we don't want to make light of it. Some people got hurt in a stampede. There were no gunshots. Might have been a couple of fights. But it was basically a celebration of Blackness. There were some great performers out there. Not all of the performers got to perform. But do you think that will make some people shy away?
Definitely not. What happened yesterday does not overshadow what Black LA stands for. We are a very unified community. We're close knit.
What does Black LA mean to you? Because you hear a lot from transplants and around the city that LA doesn't really have a Black culture. We know that
That's
it
not
is
true.
smaller.
Yes, it's smaller.
But what do you think when you hear things like that?
Well, clearly, those are transplants speaking. As a person that's born and raised here, that went to Crenshaw, you know what I'm saying? Black LA,
right down the street.
Yeah, Black LA is.
Shout out to all my Dorsey Dons out there.
Yeah, all the schools, Black LA is magical. What it means to me is, walking, down the street and seeing a friend from junior high school that I haven't seen in a long time. Seeing our local celebrities, Ice Cube, all the LA people. Black LA is magic. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though we have stronger, Black communities in other cities that I lived in. LA will always be home, and the people that are from here, we support each other. We have each other's backs. It's a great time.
We do have that special touch. When we come forward, we will be giving you a bit of insider information on what you can look forward to our shows later this week. Also, make sure once again that you are tapping in on all the socials, because you have to keep up. There are lots more exciting things happening with the station. And where can you hear it first? The only place you can hear it first is if you're listening and if you're tapped in. It's KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jill Munroe, RSVP with me.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Despite pushback from franchise owners, the Assembly passes Fast Food Workers Bill. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Assembly Bill 1228, known as the Fast Food Franchisor Responsibility Act, authored by Assemblymember Chris Holden, was passed off the Assembly floor with 42 votes in favor of the legislation, while 22 members of the Assembly voted against the bill. Some reasons Holden and supporters of this bill find it necessary is due to the reported wage theft of fast food workers, claims of violence at work, sexual harassment and assault claims, denied sick days, intense heat, poor workplace safety practices, as well as claims of retaliation for speaking out. Holden was reported saying, quote, "This does not imply that all fast food franchises mistreat their workers. It's clear that we must ensure our fast food workers are able to thrive in their workplace and their communities," end quote.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
This is Jill Munroe, and we have had a time tonight, 2 hours and 50 minutes down. It has been a thrill for me. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I want to let you know some of the things that we have coming up for you on this show this week and into next week and in the upcoming weeks. Later in the week, we will have an interview with Scoot Henderson. He is a draft prospect of the NBA draft. Of course, the NBA draft is on Thursday. So we had a conversation with him. We're going to be playing you parts of that. We also have a showrunner coming in, Tiffany Mills of Mills Avenue Media. Tiffany is a showrunner on unscripted content. One of her most recent projects is the Gabrielle Union special that is currently running on BET Plus, where she went to Africa for her 50th birthday. And we'll get into that. Tiffany is also in real LA girl.
Yes.
So we'll
also
talk.
Also a Hamilton alumni.
As am I. So,
yes.
You know, the Hamilton train, performing arts, that's all going on. So we're going to be talking that. We're going to have Giandra LaBeouf, who is a TV and film critic and also boxing expert. We're going to talk to her. We're going to talk a little Spence versus Crawford. That's a fight that's coming up in July. And we also, like I mentioned, the Oakland A's former executive that's going to be coming in. Social media influencers. We also have some social media coaches in case you are interested in getting up your social media game. We're going to talk about that, the impacts of social media, and a whole lot more. So remember, every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight, check in with us, tap in. I know you want to do it. I hope that I have given you a pleasing ending to your evening and you can cruise on into sleep, or, you know, for what we have coming up here at KBLA Talk 1580. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But Trent.
Yes.
As we are wrapping up for the night.
Yes.
How do you wind down at the end of the night?
Well, I don't think that's appropriate for this
okay.
program.
Let's give me the PG-13.
The PG-13 version is nothing like what we're thinking of, but it's something that is a part of the Los Angeles backdrop.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you know, I was thinking, like, you amped up after something like, at least I will be, you know, I'm going to be on a little high because
you put on some Janet Jackson or some music, and you do as most Californians do, or most LA people do.
I'm going to try meditation tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to get more into it. We're going to have some guests that are going to cover that and talk to us a bit more about that, because I'm learning to be more present, and a friend that is a meditation coach. And so we're going to be talking to him about some things later on. But guys, I've had so much fun.
Great first show.
I love talking about the headlines. I'm so thankful to Tavis for giving me this opportunity. And we are going to have a lot of fun. We are going to get into a lot of conversation, deep conversation. We're going to have fun, but I believe in a little bit of medicine with our sugar. That is something that a little bit of medicine with our sugar, you know. Now, how much sugar depends on the day, right?
How much medicine?
Also depends on the day and what's needed, because
Yeah.
sometimes you may just need to hit that as is and take the whole shot in.
T. Swarns knows what's going on in the chat.
I don't know. See, my computer shut down. I have to check that out. Shout out to T. Swarn. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mimi. Shout out to Terry and everybody that hung with us for this almost 3 hours.
Yes, and Crystal.
Shout out to Crystal. Yes, Crystal. Now, Crystal, you know you have to be up again for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning to check out. I invite you. Now, obviously, you got to listen to In the Mix with Trent.
Yes.
But while, you know, if you can, you might want to tune over to KBLA Talk 1580, because we have Dominique DePrima coming up at 6 a.m. and she is live.
From South Africa.
From South Africa. And
Yes.
that is a treat. She is talking to several guests while she's there. And of course, Dominique has an intense perspective that we love, always informative. So we want to make sure that you are tapping into that. But in the meantime, in between time, remind the audience again where they can find you, Trent.
Yes, at TrentTheArtist.com. Also at Trent the Artist on Instagram and Twitter. My Twitter's a little wild, so just FYI.
And you can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill, of course. I will be back here tomorrow night, 9 p.m., with all the trending topics, all the headlines, all of those special little conversations that we like to have regarding culture and lifestyle. Speaking of, really quick, before, I let you go. So as far as LA culture goes, you mentioned, the backdrop, certain things that you feel are very LA. What are some things, not that one, some additional things that you feel are very LA that you can only understand if you experience it in LA?
Wow. Celebrity sightings off the top of my head that I can think of, just seeing a celebrity or walk down the street or being friends with famous people. Everybody knows a famous person in LA, and that's only something specific to LA, as well as high-speed chases.
High-speed chases.
That's specific to Los Angeles only.
It really is. Yeah. With the ghetto bird out, you think about it, and it's like, oh, yeah, news isn't interrupted all the time in other states for high-speed chases. I'll tell you, and I don't know if this is appropriate, but one of my favorite high-speed chases that I ever saw, it was a few years ago. I don't know if you recall. I think they were in a Mustang, and they, were on the freeway. They ended up taking the officers to their hood. They took them to their hood. They got out the car. They took a few pictures, and
I remember that.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
That was one of the most epic high-speed chases. I don't believe anyone got hurt during the chase. I think that's important to mention because obviously being a Southern California native, there's always been a debate as far as if the high-speed chases are actually necessary, if capturing the criminal outweighs the safety of the public. But in this case, it was kind of like a party,
Absolutely.
And I, like you said, that is something that is very unique to LA culture. You don't see it anyplace else.
Definitely.
And we have a sort of love-hate appreciation for the situation because obviously they're probably running because they've done something terribly wrong, but it can be entertaining as long as no one gets hurt. But we don't want to see it really. But
we have to thank OJ for that.
He wasn't the first one.
He was the very first
one. But he was the first one that was televised.
For a televised chase. He started it. And after that, everybody else wanted to do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love OJ.
Okay.
He's one of my favorites.
Do you follow him on Twitter?
I do. I have alerts set up for him when he tweets.
OJ is always
because
interesting with his commentary.
He's a character, and he is definitely a troll, and that is why I like him.
He is definitely a troll because you're either like, OJ, are you not self-aware, or are you
doing it on
really
purpose.
Messing with people?
He's doing it on purpose all the way.
Anyway, so I don't know if that is something you guys are interested in checking out, OJ. What I can tell you is that I am so thankful for you checking in with us. We are getting down to the last few bits of the show tonight. I will tell you that coming up after me, which you will hear, is the best of KBLA from 12 to 6. So, we have several entertaining shows that are on the station, and you can get a little bit of flavor from each one overnight, and then we will do it all over again tomorrow. So make sure you are tapped in, ready to go, because we are going to have more exciting topics for you, more culture questions to get into, maybe a little police blotter, I don't know, tomorrow night. And we'll have Giandra LaBeouf, our TV and film critic and boxing enthusiast. So once again, thank you for checking me out. I'm Jill Munroe. This is the first episode of RSVP with Jill Munroe. You are listening to KBLA, and when we come forward, the best of KBLA Talk 1580. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
In the club with my homies, tryna get a little VI, keep it down on the low key. She know how it is. I saw the shorty, she was checking up on me from the game she was.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for sharing a part of your Tuesday morning with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest. The White House is set to hold a series of events this week to mark the one-year anniversary of the reversal of Roe v. Wade. An official says First Lady Jill Biden will host a roundtable discussion today with women who have been denied medical care since the Supreme Court overturned the landmark abortion